Hey guys, tonight we're going to talk about the new Bigtreetech Octopus Pro control board. So further ado, let's get into it. So as a lot of you know, Bigtreetech is one of the biggest companies in the 3D printing market. As you can imagine, Bigtreetech doesn't want to stay behind their competitors in electronics development for 3D printers and raises the bar a little more. Bigtreetech has launched a great electronics board called the Bigtreetech Octopus. As you can imagine, the new Octopus Pro is a new evolution of the great electronics Octopus, and that was launched less than a year ago. This evolution has been directly for machines that require high volumes of printing speeds using more powerful and advanced components than those that we would normally find in another type of low or medium range electronics. The Bigtreetech Octopus, these electronic boards are especially suitable for Core XY style machines such as the Voron 2.4 or VCore 3, being today the best machines if you are looking for high performance in a 3D printer. There are two versions of MCUs available in this board. One is a 32-bit ARM Cortex M4 446 with a clock frequency of 180 megahertz and 512K flash memory. Before these came out, one of the leading companies for one of the fastest control boards for 3D printers was Lerge. Lerge's Lerge K board was 166 megahertz, and there wasn't many boards that had matched that. Being this version the most advisable for Clipper or Marlin firmwares. The second board is the 32-bit ARM Cortex M4 429 with a clock frequency of 168 megahertz and 1 mega flash instead of 512. This version being the most recommended for RepRap firmwares. Direct support for three types of available firmwares are Clipper, Marlin, and RepRap. On the board, there's an interface for Raspberry Pi, both by USB and UART by GPIO. Also, one of the good features of these boards is you can put up to 4 Rotens on the board, up to 8 high voltage drivers are normal with new protection electronics, independent power supply for motors, hot ends, hot beds, and electronics. A few more features are up to 6 controllable fans, 2 without control. So on the bottom of the board here, you have got 8 little sockets for the fans. So there's 6, like I said, 6 controllable fans or 2 without, with a possibility of selecting the working voltage between VIN 12 volt and 5 volt. Protection against shorts in the fan sockets, important due to poor handling or failure of these components, as it is one of the most common problems with the boards of our machines. There's also a USB-C connector that allows serial emulation to be able to print via USB. Compatible. It's also compatibility with almost any screen, although always advisable to use great screens like the SKR dual screens. MOSFETs high performance improve the efficiency and heating speed of the heaters. There's also protection fuses that can be easily replaced, which on the board you're going to find three blue blade fuses here, one here and two here. These are just basically are similar to what you find in a car. You can find these fuses in normal car shops. They're not expensive. They're a 15 amp, so you're not having to go to companies like AliExpress or Amazon to especially buy these fuses. You can buy these in car shops, as I say. There's double motor output for the Z-axis, so you've got dual Z option. Improvements in the bootloader and supporting updating by USB, which is recommended, and DFU if you're an advanced user. There's a 32K EEPROM, which is the AT24C32. And there's connectors for not only for LEDs, but there's RGB LEDs and NeoPixels, which are in the center of the board, which you will easily find. Another feature that's been added to this board is for the PT100 and the 1000 amplifier installed, supporting 2, 3, and 4 wire sensors. There's also short protection thermistor connectors, another great improvement over well applied to fans. Also allows reusing these pins for other tests with a pin that bypasses these protections. Also, another thing with this board is there's support for BL Touch, and not only BL Touch, but 3D Touch, and similar with a connector intended for them and usable by other ABL systems. The Pro port was added for extra protection with an octocoupler, so as not to be need to use a BAT85 diode. So instead of having to do the diode thing now where you got to connect between the cables, you don't have to anymore. Excuse me, because there is an octocoupler built into the board, so you can just plug it straight in. Right, there's a CAN bus via RJ11 connector for future expansion modules, or a Pi or tool changer, as I said, which you are going to find here. It just looks like a modern socket. It's the RJ11. A new feature on a lot of boards these days. You're going to be finding that on a hell of a lot of boards lately. There's also an SPI bus expansion port for SPI modules such as Max 31865. You've also got I2C bus expansion port for I2C modules. There's support for modules like solid state relays and UPS on the boards. To begin with, support for high voltage drivers has been added, specifically up to a theoretical 60 volt, although we recommend you only use 48 volt systems. Of course, we can use the Octopus Pro board with standard drivers, thanks to the fact that Bigtreetech has put at our disposal a jumper to choose from one mode or another. There's also improved drive control electronics with new integrated that promise to improve the quality and management of their use. Right, since Octopus Pro is practically the same as its sister Octopus, we're not going to go much into the sockets because there is only a few added sockets. But like I say, you've got your raised up driver sockets here, improved capacitors. You've got the RJ11 socket. You have got, instead of having just an LED like on the Octopus, you've also got a buzzer. So any shortage, then it's going to alarm for you. Plenty of jumpers, plenty of new sockets. These little chips here, there's 8 of these. These are new sockets only on the Octopus Pro, not the Octopus. So also on the side here, you've also got sockets here for motor power, bed power, and bed out for different systems. Plus you've got at the top here, you have got a few motor sockets here. So there's a few extra additions to this board. So it's like, that's as much as I can tell you about new sockets. So it's like, it is a better board than the Octopus. It is more advanced. The Octopus Pro has a jumper for selecting the electronics power supply using the USB-C port. With this pin connected through a jumper, the board will be powered by the USB-C port to perform firmware update tasks or basic tests. It is very important not to place this jumper in it is very important not to place this jumper in normal use while it is connected to the printer's power supply. Which, if you do, you are going to seriously cause damage to your printer and the board. Another great improvement focused on specific machines is support for high voltage drivers and motors. The 8 sockets of the Octopus Pro stand out from their sister with stronger capacitors as well as higher sockets. Like as I said, the improvements in the management of the drivers are not only limited to improving the capacitors, but to the inclusion of a control electronics for drivers. In order to use high voltage drivers, a jumper is included to activate this function. If you want to use a new stuff like the new 5160 high voltage, you just switch the jumper across. If you're using standard, just leave it in place. Because there is a jumper included to activate this function, something that we have loved since we can use this function or not if we need it for our machine. In the case that we use normal drivers, we will place the jumpers at the top of the socket under the motor cable connector on the right side. In that case, the drivers would use the motherboard power input, which is normally 24 volt. The Octopus Pro includes the necessary electronics to be able to use the excellent PT100 sensors, supporting 2, 3 and 4 wire sensors. Use a macro switch to indicate to the board which type we're using each moment. Together with the new Octopus Pro as well, Bigtree has released a review of one of the best drivers that exists today, specifically the TMC 5160 driver. In this case, it is a new Pro high voltage version in order to take advantage of all the new functions of this new Octopus Pro board. These new drivers support theoretical motors up to 60 volt, although in the case of using them in the Octopus Pro, we recommend working with 48 volt systems. Recommended voltages are 12, 24, 36, 48 and 56 volt. So that is a big improvement on these boards as well. If you think of boards that Bigtreetech used to the ones started like the SKR boards, you wouldn't dream of any technology like this. So technology is really advanced with these boards. It also has a great build quality as well as a component, something which is common in all drivers manufactured by Bigtreetech, and considerably they have improved the mods of this version for total and optimal control in motor management. So there's a lot of big improvements on these boards. The SKR boards, to me, I would say, are looking at, with the technology, are a bit dated compared to these boards. If you're going, a lot of people these days are buying boards like the Voron and the Rat Rig VCore 3, which with printers like that, you need a lot more features on your board. It's like the VCore 3 as a kinetic, kinetic bed leveling. So whether you get Octopus Pro, you've got the 8 ports, so there's plenty of space to use features like that. I must say the technology on these boards are a big improvement for Bigtreetech. Bigtreetech are really up in the game with this board. This is the version 1.0 of the Octopus Pro. I think, if I remember rightly, the Octopus Pro 1.1 has just come out. Also, another thing on this board, which I'm going to show you, is just here, there is 2 little blocks. That is to connect an ESP8266 Wi-Fi card, Wi-Fi interface to the Octopus Pro. Some of the sockets as well you've got on this is, like I say, the RJ11 CAN bus, the USB, you've got a micro SD card socket there, and you've got USB-C. So, yeah. Would I say this board is good quality? I would say so, yeah. Is it fast? Yeah. Is it value for money? Yes. The price of the board for this board, we shall take a look at the price of it, and we'll show you what you do get in the box for this. So this is the motherboard here, the control board, the Octopus Pro. You get your jumpers, your fusers, and your USB-C cable. Also, like I say, it is a TMC 516 Pro compatible. And also for the with Bigtreetech, when a company is producing boxes like this, you know you're getting quality stuff, because they don't just cut corners on the quality of the boxes. It is a nice quality box, which I'll show you. That is a blue one, which is, I'm guessing, is for the 429 version. This is the purple one, which is the 446 version. So for the people that love buying Bigtreetech boards, especially for the rubber ducks, you do still get the rubber duck in the box. It's still there for you. So you're not going to lose the rubber ducky. So yeah, I would recommend buying this board. I have tried this board in a machine already, and it does perform really good. I only had the 208 TMC drivers in it, but it still performed really well. I have took the board back out because this is going in to my the Two Trees Sapphire Pro Core XY, with it being aimed at Core XY machines. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. And seeing how the Two Trees Sapphire Pro improves. You will have to tune in to when I put the video on to my YouTube channel and Instagram and Facebook, because that is going to be a good video to watch to see the performance of this board. So that is going to be a later date, which I will give you notice. Keep an eye on the Instagram page. You can find my Instagram page at instagram.com stroke Generation of Tech. We are on Facebook under Generation of Tech as well, and we are going over to Twitter as well as Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So there is going to be a few changes to Generation Tech, which is going to be a big improvement, hopefully. Later, at a later date, we will also go over to TikTok, but that's not going to be just yet. That will be at a later date. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching it on YouTube, please click subscribe and like. It will tell the YouTube algorithms that you did like this this video, and it tells other people that it were a good video. If you didn't like it, just click the thumbs down, but hopefully you're going to click the thumbs up. If you're watching it on Facebook, please click like. If you watch it on Instagram, same again, please click like. And if there's any recommendations of equipment that you want us to review or anything like that, we will review it for you. When I do the Two Trees Sapphire Pro upgrade with the Bigtreetech Octopus Pro, it will be a live show, so you will get a chance to ask questions, and I will try my best to answer the questions for you. So keep an eye out for that. And like I say, stay safe. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Look after each other. And that's the end of today's show. So see you all later. Thanks, guys. Bye.